Okay, here we go. So let's take it from the Mishnah. Chalil. Here we go. Chalil chamisha v'shisha zeu chalil shabisa shueva. She'eno deicha lo yishavs lo yisyotim. Now that statement is the contested statement. The Mishnah just said that the chalil of the silchus beis shueva is not deicha Shabbos or Yontif. Says the Gemara. So the first shtickle Gemara is, we could almost call it a sidebar. First shtickle Gemara, it's almost a etymology game, a definition game. Neither one is a mistake. Okay, so it's Silchus Beis HaSha'eva, it's Sha'eva, it's Chashuva, Mayridik. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol nihiyeh b'doreh. Tan Rabbanan. This is where we start. Hachalil, so Bryce. Teichas HaShabbos, if you say Yehuda. Chacham Maimrim, Af Yontif Eino Deicha. So Machlek, as if the flute is Deicha Shabbos. Or is it Deicha nothing? Not even Yontif. Omer Rav Yosef. Machlek, as Bashir Shal Karban. So let's listen carefully. The Mishnah, let's remind ourselves, that the Mishnah said that the Chalil is not Deicha, we're talking about the Chalil of Beis HaShayeva, not of Karban. So says Rav Yosef, this Machlokes, whether it's Deicha or not, is the daily Chalil. Why? What is that Machlokes, whether it is Deicha Shabbos or not? To Rav Yosef Savar Kashira Bikli, and therefore it's an Avodah, and of course it's Deicha Shabbos, which is one of those things you have to always remind ourselves, which is in Beis HaMikdash, Malacha was mutter. It's one of those things our brains don't really compute at a young age, which is just to point out the irony. We learn out all Malacha from the Mishkan, and that's how we know it's Asur on Shabbos, but in the Mishkan it was allowed. Beis HaMikdash, and Mishkan. For Avodah, for Karbanis. So to do Shchita, to do playing the flute is allowed. Why is it allowed? Because it's an Ikar Avodah. Mayrid.
There could be a separation between Yontif and Shabbos as far as plans.
That's a million. I mean, we could add.
No. Shabbos. I mean, there's a different din of that applies.
Of course, every Yontif is a different dinam always. That's the Af Yontif. Yontif, many more things are mutter. Now, it happens to be. That's the answer to your question. Happens to be there is a larger debate going on over here. What's going on with Yontif, which we have to get to. But the stam answer is Yontif always has more leniencies, be'etzem. But yeah, we have to get there. Which the truth is, by the way, the Gemara doesn't really circle back around in that detail.
Right, there's no one that saying
the Gemara. Our Gemara does not really circle. Correct. So Eker Shira Bikli, Rabban and Savri, Eker Shira Bepeh, V'Lava Vaidi, Veina Deches HaShabbos. What is it? It's an extra. Extras are not Deches Shabbos. Aval Shir Shel Shoy Eva. Divrei Akol, everyone's going to agree, is a simcha. Simcha meaning, and not avodah, and therefore, Shabbos, which right now, if we pause, we can realize that this memra of Rav Yosef is perfectly in consonance with our Mishnah. Because what did our Mishnah say? That the Chalil of the Beis HaShoeva is not Deicha Shabbos and Yontif. What did Rav Yosef just say? The Chalil of the Beis HaShoeva is not Deicha Shabbos. Rav Yosef added on that whether the Chalil is Deicha a Stam Shabbos, the Chalil of Karban, that's a sidebar Machlekes. Is that clear? Now, I want everyone to pause right here. We're not going to read the next Gemara. Go over here to Rav Yirmiyah. Because just realize, what the Gemara now does, the Gemara brings a raya, the Gemara gets involved in different sidebar details. But the etzem sugya is, that Rav Yosef just taught us, that Shir Shel Shoeva is not Deicha, just like our Mishnah said, and Shir Shel Karban is a Machlekes. Rav Yirmiyah Barabba. Let's go to Rav Yirmiyah Barabba. Does everyone have Rav Yirmiyah Barabba? I know I just edited the Gemara, but try. Let's see if it works. Rav Yirmiyah Barabba Amar. Yeah? Machlokes, the exact opposite of what Rav Yosef just said. What's the machlokes, says Rav Yirmiyah Barabba? B'shir shel shoyeva. Oh, a moment ago, Rav Yosef shir shel shoyeva, everyone holds what? Is not doiche. Rav Yirmiyah Barabba says that is the machlokes. That what? Rav Yosef, Rav Yehuda Savar, Simcha Yisira Nami Doicha Es Shabbos. So we have a Meir Diga Chiddush that the Simcha Shel Beis HaShoiva will yes be Doicha Shabbos. The first shita that we're hearing that holds that. The Rabbanan Sabri, no. Simcha Yisira Einoi Doicha Es Shabbos. Now pause. Who does our Mishnah go like? The Rabbanan. Not like everyone, only like the Rabbanan. According to Rav Yosef a moment ago, our Mishnah went like everyone. According to Rav Yirmiyah, who does our Mishnah go like? The Rabbanan. Aval b'shir shel carbon, says Rav Yirmiyah Barabba. When it comes to shir shel carbon, that divrei kol avodah v'deichas Shabbos. Exact polar opposites, Rav Yirmiyah and Rav Yosef, which is the reason, since they're polar opposites, meaning they're arguing on both details, which is really to foreshadow the next Gemara. So now if I'm going to have a kasha on Rav Yosef, is it going to be a one-prong question or a two-prong question? It's going to be a two-prong question. Because if I'm going to prove Rav Yosef wrong, it's going to prove both dinim wrong. But let's see that. Good? Are we so far clear? We had a Mishnah, we had a Brisa, and we have two shitais how to explain aforementioned Mishnah and Brisa. Are we clear? Let's ask questions now if we're not clear. Clear? Matt, are we clear? You think we're clear? Beautiful. Charlie, we're clear? Yeah. Avi? Thumbs up. Rav Yitz in Hebrew? Move on. His name's in Hebrew. Do we have to talk in Hebrew? Is that how it works? Okay. Says the Gemara, no such thing as seats. Maybe for davening, it should be that way also. Let's not talk about that in public. Got people all triggered. Meisvei. Yeah. So I know La Halach is a thing of seats, but yeah. Weiter. It doesn't make no difference. I don't care. So you're supposed to daven when you learn. That's also true. See, I should sit here by davening. I'm asking. We should start that one. Meisvei frakti Gemara. Okay, we're chazering the blot, and the way that we're doing the chazara is we learned the Mishnah, we learned the Brisa, we learned Rav Yosef, and we learned Rav Yirmiyah. With that setup, the next Gemara will actually flow. B'siyata d'shmei, inshallah. Meisvei frakti Gemara. Says the Brisa. Shir shel shoeva teiches Shabbos. This should sound interesting. Divrei whom? Rav Yesi, Rav Yehuda. Shir shel shoeva teiches Shabbos. Okay. V'chachamim oimrim af yom tov einoi teicha. Again, let's analyze those words. Shir shel shoeva. So who said that there's a machlokes by shir shel shoeva? Rav Yirmiyah Barabba, exactly. And within the machlokes of Yirmiyah Barabba, he said that Rav Yosef Rav Yehuda says it's yes deicha. Rav Yosef yes deicha. But Chachamim says einoi deicha. So this brisa that we quoted just now seemingly is in perfect consonance with Rav Yirmiyah Barabba, which by definition should mean it's in perfect argument. I don't know if that's a word. I might have just made it up. Is it a word? No. Sounded good. Okay. Opposite. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Of Rav Yosef. Says the Gemara to Yofta, to Rav Yosef, to Yofta. Yivaldik, Rav Yosef, you're wrong. Now, the Gemara really could stop here. But the Gemara, as they say, don't beat a man when he's down. The Gemara beats a man when he's down. Says the Gemara, Lema, 1 second. Maybe, let's make a suggestion. What did the brisa that we just quoted talk about? Shir shel shayeva. Did it say anything about shir shel karba? No. Says the Gemara, Lema b'shir shel shayeva udipligi. Let us suggest, like the brisa said, that where is the machlekes? B'shir shel shayeva. Aval, however, b'shir shel karban, what's the obvious follow through? Divrei akol, what? Teiches Shabbos, which again, who said that? Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba. He said this exact memra. Carbon copy. They argue Shir Shel Chalil, they argue Shir Shel She'eva, slicha, and Shir Shel Karban, they all agree is Doicha. So we already had one kashka on Rav Yosef, which was the first half. Now says Marsana, let's suggest that the diuk is also. So lema tehave tiyufta Rav Yosef bitarti. So now we could suggest it's not only a kasha, a one-pronged question on Rav Yosef, it's a two-pronged question on Rav Yosef. Both things that Rav Yosef said are wrong. It's wrong about the machlekes of Shir Shel Karban, and it's wrong about the lack of machlekes with Shir Shel Shoeva. So now Rav Yosef responds. Rav Yosef responds. The first kasha, did he respond? There was nothing to respond. First kasha was a brisa that knocked him out. Now we're asking from a diuk, right? We're saying, you told me they argue Shir Shel Shoeva, maybe Shir Shel Karban Divrei Hakol. On that last secondary kasha, Omer Lecho Rav Yosef, Pligi b'Shir Shel Shoeva, Vehu Adin LeKarban. Says Rav Yosef, your diuk is wrong. They argued by Shir Shel Shoeva, and guess what? The same thing by Shir Shel Karban. Now, what does that now do for Rav Yosef? It turns the tables entirely. Because if they argue by Shir Shel Karban, that's exactly what Rav Yosef said. Correct? Rav Yosef said they argue by Shir Shel Karban. So if we flip it, says Rav Yosef, they don't only argue Shir Shel Sheva, they also argue Shir Shel Karban. Says the Gemara. So now we just have to ask Akasha. So why did the Brisa say that they're arguing by Shir Shel Sheva? No? Thank you. Why did the Brisa say arguing by Shir Shel Sheva? If it's the same thing, it should have said both. Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why. That's why it said it. Period. Now, Vaha. Before we go further, are we so far clear? We had a kasha on Rav Yosef. We suggested a second kasha. Rav Yosef deflects the second kasha by saying, no, don't be medayik. It's a huadin. If it's a huadin that it's the same thing, why do we say that case? Oh, to bring out the chiddush that Rav Yosef, that's mutter. Says the Gemara, but 1 second. Bahakatani. Let's go back to that brisa. Let's go back. Bahakatani. Now, let's go back. Bahakatani means what? I don't know if I explained this properly the first time. Bahakatani, if you look at Rashi, there's different gersayis here. It's a little bit confusing. Because what does the Gemara say? I don't know if we spoke to speaking out good now. Bahakatani, but it says, that's all it means. Zeu Chalil shall beisa she'eva. She'ena deich alois ha'shabbos ha'siyantif. Well, where did it say this line? We didn't just have this line. Go back, look up. Did it say, you see a line that says Zehu Chalil? No. Our Mishnah had it. So this is the first time, which by the way is fascinating in Gemara world. We had a Brisa. We have Rav Yosef. We have Rav Yirmiyah Abba had to learn the Brisa. We never quoted the Mishnah. It's a little bit funny. The Gemara never came along until now to understand what the Mishnah. I kept on referencing and saying, "Oh, this works with the Mishnah." The Gemara itself never pulled us back to the Mishnah. Now says the Gemara, but wait, if you, Rabbi Yosef, are saying that the Machlokes is B'shir Shel She'eva, V'hu Adin, and they say Machlokes is Shir Shel Karban, then we have a problem. Because the Mishnah taught me, Zehu Chalol Shabbos HaShuev, Shem Deichlo Shabbos Yantif. And what does the word Zehu mean? Very important. Zeh. Zeh Keli Van Veu, right? The Mitzrayim said that's about, no, Zehu. What did they say? Zeh Keli Van Veu. No, that wasn't the Mitzrayim, that was Yidden. That's what Kimi, he. No, similar. Zehu, this is, says the Gemara, Zehu Deinoi Doiche. This is not Doiche. What's this? Beis HaShoeva. Aval Dikarbon. The Mishnah itself opened up for this diuk. Because the Mishnah said, Zeu Chalil Shabbos Rishenu Zeicha. Very good. Meaning you, Rabbi Yosef, are trying to shtup a braisa that it's to say Machlokes. No, but then the Mishnah doesn't work. Aval Dikarbon Deicha. And Mani, who's it going to be? It's no one. Ine Rabbi Yosef Yehuda, Amar Shal Shvei V'nami Deicha. Elav Rabbanan, Utiyoftia, to Rabbi Yosef, Petarti, Tiyofta. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef, you're out on both accounts. The first account was easy. The second account, we tried to say it was a diuk. To the diuk, Rabbi Yosef responded, Hu Adin. The Gemara now teaches us that it's not possible. Because if that was true, the Mishnah is shveh. Because only Zehu is the only case that they're arguing, not by the other case. Tiyofta, the Rav Yosef, Betarti, Tiyofta. Now, I know we skipped one shtickle Gemara. That shtickle Gemara is a little bit easier, because that shtickle Gemara is really just going involved into the sidebar or its own sugya of Iker Shira Bikli versus Iker Shira Bipeh, which is a beautiful isolated sidebar sugya, but that's not our overarching sugya. Our overarching sugya is what we just learned. So again, let's paint a picture. We have a Mishnah. The Mishnah said, Beis HaShe'eva is not Deicha Shabbos. Machlokes, no Machlokes, nothing at all. Zeu, just here, is not Deicha. Okay. We have Rav Yosef, who says they only argue Shir Shal Karban, not Shir Shal She'eva. Everyone agrees is not Deicha. Then we have Rav Yim Rabba. The Gemara had one kasha on Rav Yosef from a brisa. The Gemara wanted to say Rav Yosef could tell you, no, it's not so shver the brisa. Why? Because they argue about both cases. They argue about both cases. Responds the Gemara, it's impossible to say that because of the Zehu in our Mishnah. That's the end of the Gemara. Let's stop over here. Let's let the Ilm have 5 minutes to try to put these pieces together. I think this has been much clearer. I hope so. I hope Siyata Shemaya. Tomorrow Chazarah should be the whole blot. We just this piece in the middle, you mean? Yeah, 100%. Right here. This is which is its own sugya, by the way. Which is its own isolated sugya of Iker Shir B'Peh versus Iker Shir B'Kli. Raya's 3 different ways of learning it. It's got their own very isolated sugya. But yes, 100%. Tomorrow we should do that, which will leave us Thursday to learn a long and Mayridika Mishnah. B'siyata Dishmaya.